Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
They've been called the greatest generation. Raised during the Great Depression, they endured hardship and need and often sacrificed education to work for what little they could get to help their families. Then when their country was attacked and drawn into global conflict, they rose to the challenge by millions, men and women, to do their part to restore peace and fight for freedom. Honor Flight works to recognize the valor of these vanishing heroes. By some counts, as many as 550 per day are passing away.
To me, this plane has saved my life. It saved my life because it carried me through the entire remainder of the war. At that time, I didn't have a girlfriend, but we were allowed as crew chiefs, a plane assigned to us, to put up whatever design we wanted to on the nose. If anyone can see this right now, it's got the name Lorraine on the nose. That happened to be my sister. So anyway, that's how it happened to be there. The squadron that I was assigned to is the 3rd Combat Cargo Squadron, and their insignia is right here on the tail. It's the inverted horseshoe with a 3 inside of it. Now, back in the States, we had toggle switches. You know, a parapack is just a big package, almost like a bomb, but it's underneath the plane. And in the States, we'd hit a toggle switch, and that package would drop off and get close as we could to those smudge pots. But overseas, there in Burma, we didn't have that luxury. We kept the door of the plane open all the time, wherever we flew, and whatever cargo we were carrying, my logbook shows that I had to fly to places called DZ, drop zone. It was our job to fly down. We'd come in, we'd have these supplies, and we'd come down within 300 feet, and we would kick the supplies out the door of this plane. We even carried 55-gallon drums of gasoline. We supplied the British with either eggs or whatever it might be.
I guess I'm one of the fortunate ones, and I'm going to give it all to the good Lord for letting me be right here and tell you this now. Because if it hadn't been for him, I would not have got through it. That's who I'm giving all the credit to. People would come out, they would have wildflowers, have wine, have cognac, and they would have different things, writings on posts, well, cardboard or different things out up and come up. If you was in a Jeep riding along, they would walk up to it, walk along with you and shake hands with you. And there were a couple of words they knew and knew very well. One of those was, have you got any American cigarettes? The other one was, have you got any American chocolate?
Me young, as a matter of fact, I was 21-year-old at that time, but I was literally scared to death from sending us straight up to the 30th parallel because Chinese are still filtering into South Korea because they don't want to get in there. But so we went up there on guard, and by me going to leadership school, I was a corporal when they sent me over there. So I was in charge of like a corporal of the guard, what have you. And we went up to, I know everybody has known where Pork Chop Ridge was in Korea. That's in between, well, it's on the 38th parallel.
Welcome to Living Old School. I'm Rhonda Matthews, and today we're in the kitchen learning to boiling water bath can tomatoes. Canning and preserving is a great way to take your fresh flavors of the summertime garden and enjoy those flavors all year long. So come back and join us as we begin Living Old School. Welcome back. We're in the kitchen, boiling water bath canning tomatoes. Yummy in the garden, yummy on the shelf as well. So today we'll learn how to make those tomatoes last all year long. Good food for your family on the family dinner table. So as we get ready to can or preserve anything, we always want to make sure we have all our equipment ready to go and clean. The other thing we have to make sure of is that we've got top quality produce. So when you're working with tomatoes, you want to make sure that you have perfect fruit and that there's no damage to it. It is intact and in good shape. And all these tomatoes we'll be working with today are indeed that. You also want to make sure to wash all your produce that you can very, very well. Some of the toughest microbes that cause food spoilage in that jar are in our soil.
Just north of Pickens, South Carolina, is one of the most fascinating and interesting places you'll ever see. It's the Haygood Mill. Located on Haygood Creek, the mill was built by James Haygood in 1845. It's one of the few grist mills still operating in America. Here, you can still get the world's best fresh ground cornmeal, as well as the best tasting grits you'll ever eat.
Here at Haygood Mill, we have special events every third Saturday of the month throughout the entire year. In addition to our third Saturday events, we also host educational classes on site. We do primitive skills classes, fire building, open hearth cooking classes, medicinal plant studies. That's some of the educational opportunities that we offer at Haygood Mill.
Prior to the invention of the cotton gin, it took about 8 hours for a farmhand to pick the seeds from 1 pound of cotton. Built in 1890, this cotton gin cleaned 1,000 pounds in just 1 hour.
Welcome to Collins Old Town. It's located about a mile east of Central, across from Southern Wesleyan University. This is one of the most fascinating places you can visit in the upstate. It's set in the 1920s, 30s Depression era style, and there is so much to see here. There's the general store, an old barber shop, a one-room schoolhouse. They've even got Collins Hill Inn right here as a hotel. We're going to take a trip back in time. Why don't you come on with us?
I've been a collector of old antiques, I guess, since the mid-50s, and got to the point where we had no place to put them, so we had to have buildings to put them in. So thus we started out with the store and added the barber shop and the school and the inn, and we're about to run out of space again. So we're probably going to build a church to put some things in that kind of fit in with that.
The reason I think people have a lot of stress on themselves is because they really don't turn anything over to the Lord, and I'm actually learning to turn things over to God now, you know, and it just takes so much stress off of you, you know. He may not do things on your time, you know, but things will get done on His time, and I'm still learning to deal with that as well, you know. He's going to do it when He's ready for things to get done, but you just have to trust and believe in Him, and, you know, it's just a weight lifted off of you.
I think I'll jump in on that one first. Being a blended family, there are probably more, I know there are more challenges than if you're a family that's not blended. And there were times Christy and Michael were not always as close as I would like to have seen them. But over the last couple of years, I have seen the two of them. And I know Christy, through talking to Pastor Jamie when he was here and his wife, has been able to open up her heart a little more to Michael.